Hello, this is Bob Mangrum, and this video is dedicated to Louisa from Italy, who sent me an email and asks, if we are the creators of our reality, and we are choice makers, then how do you explain situations such as starving children, or a young person who dies suddenly, or people that are affected by disasters such as earthquakes, tsunamis, and floods, etc.? Why would people choose such terrible situations for themselves? Is this their choice, or is it fate? To answer this question, we must first look at the views of predestination or free choice. When we speak of fate, we are implying predestination. Consider this clearly. If your life was predestined, and no matter what you do, think, or believe, it doesn't matter because your life is already written out for you, then predestination would be like getting stuck on a train. The doors are sealed, and no matter what you do, the train will carry you to a destination whether you like it or not. Do you see the problem with this? If this were true, then why bother doing anything? Why pray? Why meditate? Why pursue knowledge? Why go to school? Why even bother trying to be good? Because good and bad won't matter. Because everything in life has already been laid out for you, even the bad things. So why try to make the bad things good? Because you can't. All you have to do is sit quiet and let life happen, because you have no choice but to let life happen. When things are wonderful, we are quick to claim our victory. If someone graduates from school, or a team wins a game, or we win an award, or get a great job, we are quick to say, I did it. We are quick to say that our actions, choices, and hard work paid off. But the moment something bad happens, we don't want to say that. We don't want to claim that I was part of the reason that something bad happened. We would rather believe that it was some other force that caused the terrible things to happen. It's as if we want to clear our own conscience and say that it was fate, it was God's doing, or it was the other person, etc. Free will is not about blame. It is the understanding that you are part of an elaborate, energetic, and synchronistic system, and that you play a much larger role in that system than you realize. So if our lives were all predetermined, then we would all be like passengers on a train who are stuck, helpless, and passively going where the train takes us. But what if? What if you were not on a train, and instead you were in a car, and you can take the car wherever you like, and this is free will. So you are in control, and you are creating the direction and destination your life takes, because you are in the driver's seat. Now here's the catch. You are the driver of the car, but how you drive the car is up to you. You can choose to drive the car carefully with wisdom, or you can drive the car recklessly and get into trouble. If your life feels like it is one trouble after another, pay strict attention to how you are driving and not so much where you are going. And this is where we must look at our own thinking and our own level of consciousness. If our energetic vibration is guided by fear, worry, and negativity, this is like driving recklessly. And if we learn to transcend our negativities, we are able to drive the car much more smoothly. Let's take it even further. If you are filled with negativity and fear, the landscape changes. So while you are driving, the road becomes dangerous, bumpy, and maybe some rainstorms will even hit you as well. But as you raise your spiritual vibration, not only do you drive better, but the landscape changes accordingly. The roads become smoother and the sky clears. So your reality is shifting as your thinking changes. The next part of the question is, if we are choice makers, then why would we create tragedies for ourselves? Why would people create illnesses, poverty, divorce, early deaths, crime, and so on? And here is where we have to look at choices. There are two types of choices. The first are conscious and intentional choices, and the second are unconscious choices. We can make many conscious choices. A woman may say, I choose to buy the blue dress and not the red dress. I choose to watch this movie and not that one. I choose to eat a salad instead of a hamburger, etc. We make hundreds of conscious choices every day. Some choices are minor and some major, but we can choose. But then there are the unconscious choices. And these choices, for the most part, we are not aware of. These show themselves in emotional outbursts, habits and patterns, belief systems and cultural conditionings, etc. For example, if we have inner pain such as anger, hurt, sadness, fear, and mistrust, we will tend to make choices based on that level of consciousness. And choices made from that type of energy will usually get us in trouble. If, however, someone has resolved their inner pain and they feel loving, joyful, creative, productive, and purposeful, then their choices, conscious and unconscious, will be very different. They will function from a higher level of consciousness, and there will be very little negativity holding them back in their progress or well-being. So let's come back now to predestination and choices. If you do not take the time to know your patterns and pain, you will unconsciously follow your unconscious patterns, and your life will feel as if it is predestined, because you will have a feeling of helplessness, being overwhelmed, and no control in your life. Your life will tend to follow a groove, a repetition of similar experiences. But when you change your patterns, habits, energy, and levels of consciousness, you will snap yourself out of the groove, and your ability to create your reality will enhance. This is like escaping and jumping off the train, and then there's a car waiting for you. You are always creating your reality. You are just creating the same thing over and over, or you are unconsciously manifesting negative experiences. So yes, consciously you don't want negative experiences in your life, but your unconscious may be running on a self-destructive pattern and you don't realize it. This is commonly referred to as self-sabotage. So is your life guided by fate or free will? If you don't make conscious effort to transcend your patterns and inner pain, then you will follow your old groove, so it will feel like fate. But technically, we are always exercising free will, making choices and creating our reality. It is just that some are done consciously and others unconsciously. And finally, let's look at the people that end up in tragic situations such as tsunamis, earthquakes, starving children, etc. To answer this, let's use one example to reflect all the others. Let's consider the tsunami. When the tsunami happened, it's easy for us to look at that event and say, how terrible, what a tragedy, and those poor people had to suffer like that. And this is true. It is very tragic and sad to see that kind of suffering. But now imagine that you are on a spaceship, and you are looking down on the earth, and there's the big beautiful earth in all her glory right in front of you as you look down from your spaceship. Imagine now that you just witnessed the entire tsunami occur. But because you are seeing the whole earth from a distance, you are seeing things that people on the earth are not seeing. As you observe the event take place, you also see airplanes flying from all over the world with food and supplies. You see boats and ships rushing to the tsunami site. You see donations being poured from all over the world. You see people sending their thoughts and prayers to the victims. You see people at the tsunami site rescuing victims, cleaning up destroyed homes and buildings, and rebuilding as much as they can. And you see the whole thing happening in front of you from a global and higher perspective. Now imagine you have a very special instrument, an instrument that measures the love and compassion of the planet. And all of a sudden you see the love and compassion of the entire planet spike up like never before. The love vibration raised to an amazing high levels because of that tsunami. Never before in the history have you ever seen such compassion in the earth. Now I ask you, was the tsunami good or bad? If you look at it from the earth level, it is bad. When you look at it from a higher and bigger perspective, you see the appropriateness of it all. It occurred to raise the vibration of the planet. By seeing the event from the spaceship allows you to see the event from the perspective of the angels and your soul. The human mind will see tragedy because it is earth-based, but the soul sees love and appropriateness because it is divine-based. So now you might be thinking, but why these innocent people? And here's where the ultimate love and compassion comes in. These people on a soul level or a soul contract chose to be there. They may not know it on the conscious level, but their soul knows it. So, for example, these people did not wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to the seashore today because there's a tsunami coming and I plan to die. Their soul energy and their overall level of consciousness place them in synchronistic events in order to be there at that time of the event. Their deaths help to raise the planet's vibration of love and compassion. This is why it is so important not to feel sorry for such souls. Instead, we must honor them and recognize that they are the soldiers of light for our planet Earth. Does this mean not to help or donate to disaster relief? Of course not. For the helping process is part of the healing process. So the next time you see a television commercial of a hungry child in Africa, for example, take a look into their eyes and do not see sadness or pity. Instead, see the bravery, the courage, and the purity of their soul. Look deeply into their eyes and speak to their soul, and you will hear their soul say to you, I am here in these conditions because I am here to make the planet a better place. I am here to teach the world about love, compassion, and coming together. And why does it have to happen through tragedy? Because unfortunately, humanity is still at the stage where tragedy is needed to make a difference. So the next time you see these loving souls, stand straight and stand strong and salute these precious people. You must honor their light and their love for our planet and start to see them from the viewpoint of the angels. Thank you.